Hey, it's me, Big P, and I'm here with a little overview video as we start the first full week of Legion League. Thought I'd just kind of go over my build and my experience with starting as a melee character, specifically a Berserker, so far. Generally speaking, my experience has been extremely positive. Let's go over the gear real quick. If you want to know what skills I'm using, it's Lacerate for clear and Blade Flurry for a single target. Whether that changes, we'll see. I'm having a lot of fun with new Lacerate. It's very fast when my attack speed ramps up. It really kind of gets going and it's beautiful. We just finished all our yellow maps last night. And now we're getting into the reds. I'm going to run this one after I go over my build a bit. Just to show you kind of the damage, the speed, and more just go over the mechanics of the whole thing. Because there are a little bit of nuances to the build, even though the Berserker is kind of lends itself to just totally wonderfully reckless playstyle. Okay, so let's go over the gear. Boring stuff first. Boring. Bit of life, bit of resistance. Same thing here. I'm pretty lucky I do have physical damage to both attacks. I'm going full fizz. Again, as I said, I'm going to try and scale that fully for the first time without really doing any conversion stuff. Here's Truth I picked up for dexterity, and because I am using precision, high level precision with reduced mana reservation is huge. It's really nice. Mana will be a problem with your attack speed. Like, this is low attack speed. You pop Blood Rage, it's a little more, not that bad. But without a source of leech, once the attack speed really gets up there, you will be having problems. And Here's Truth doesn't really do that much for that, besides a little bit less mana reservation. Otherwise, global crit, a bit of Leech's life. It's really the Shadows and Dust. I'm basically only using this for the mana leech. Rampage is okay. Unholy Might doesn't work on my build because I'm not doing any chaos damage with my attacks. I'm only doing physical because I have brutality in my links. Is that what brutality does? Yeah. Only physical damage. Critical strikes, this is a crit build, so that's basically, it's pretty solid for this. Please stop doing beeps to me. Yeah, and again, this is also kind of boring. I didn't even need movement speed because new Leap Slam is so wonderful. It's kind of strange to not need movement speed on your boots. I mean, I know it sounds a little crazy, but I'll show you what I mean. Between my Silver Flask, Quicksilver Flask, my Silver Flask, and all the move speed that I get from Rage and maybe Blitz. No, Blitz only gives attack speed. Jesus, leave me alone. Just feel I'm doing video. Okay, sorry about that. Let's see, let's go. What else? Okay, so let's go over the stuff I was super lucky with. Basically, everything else is rares besides the uniques. That's kind of self-explanatory. Okay, so the Skava in the main hand and the Prismatic Eclipse in the offhand is what I would have bought if they didn't drop for me. Pretty extremely lucky. I think at the time both of these were just under double-digit chaos. I don't know what their price is now, but I got super lucky because I'm, a sword crit build, and these are just like very, very nice. A lot of physical damage. It's pretty hot. So eventually I will probably have to go and probably metacraft some rare swords. I don't really have that much experience with it, and I don't even know if I'll need to, really. If I want to pump a lot of currency into this build, I can do it. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. These are pretty self-explanatory, just great uniques for, leveling early mapping into endgame. We'll see how far I can push it. Another thing I was really lucky with is Lion's Roar. I checked the price on the first day of the league because I was curious, and it was hovering at about 35, 40 chaos. And this dropped for me last night, and I checked the price again. This is about an Exalt right now. I'm not sure if that price has gone up since, this morning when it happened. But yeah, super lucky. You go specifically 6% quality, so you get 420 seconds. I specifically did that intentionally. Otherwise, you do a Diamond Flask because we are running Blitz, which kind of reduces critical strike. You know, the build has so many moving parts as it gets going in a map that it's kind of hard to really, like, okay, right now main hand is almost 35% crit chance and offhand is almost 30. This changes because of Blitz and a bunch, I think some other things, like obviously a diamond flask will affect that. The tree, I'm not really going to get into that much because I haven't really min-maxed it. Long story short, you want to be in this area. There's so much juice in this area, so many new things to experiment with. I might end up dropping this whole thing, which is what I use for endurance charge generation, you know, to kind of go into more damage. I spec'd into Impale here, and I'm going into more Impale. I think that because of how many attacks a Berserker does with Lacerate, and just in general, Impale might be proccing a lot, but I'm not really sure. You know, there's so much new stuff going on, it's kind of really difficult to tell. And let's hide Berserker real quick to show you that I did go into the Scion Life Wheel. I see a lot of guys, not only are people playing Berserker without going into the Scion Life Wheel, but they're also speccing into Aspect of Carnage. Maybe I just don't feel like going like super softcore with this build and dying a million times. I still am dying a little bit, not so much. The only things I'm really dying to are not really map bosses, but more the Legion encounters. They can be a little tricky at times, especially those Vol guys that shoot that like blood spell or whatever. But I hear a lot of people are having problems with that, so maybe that'll be tweaked. Still sticking with Rage. Rage is amazing. I love it. We went in and we spec'd out of Pain River because I was able to get Shadows and some Leech on some gear and Tree, which is plenty for me right now. This is really kind of only good for leveling, I would say. I ideally would really not like to not have to spec back into it, but gotta be honest, Blitz feels like a bit of a meme at points, but it's a wonderful meme. It's a juicy meme, and let's just show you how it goes. So I was talking about the build having a little bit of ramp. Anyway, let's open up the Agony Waste so that we can kind of get into it. Oh, let me go over my links real quick. So I bought this base for like 7 or 8 chaos, alted into the resistances, then regaled. No, what did I think I regaled cold res. I didn't really care about it, but the chest ended up actually being pretty decent. Probably gonna keep using this until might need more. Might be able to do a lot of stuff with this 5 link though as my single target skill. Probably gonna end up going for a rare elder chest that gives me base crit to kind of help me along there. You know, we're gonna see exactly what we have to do. But right now my build is at a point where I think I'll be able to clear up to probably even Guardians, honestly, with some decent. I want to hit at least 5k life, if not 5.5k. 6k might be pushing it. We'd have to probably get real high life rolls on a lot of stuff and replace the gloves, but I'm kind of scared of not having that mana leech because, well, you'll see. I shouldn't run out of mana during the map at all. But the links for Blade Flurry are Brutality, Chance to Bleed, Pulverize, and Melee Fizz. Chance to Bleed, you could swap out with Maim. I have Maim on my Val Double Strike, which I use for a bit of extra single target, and I used to use it for helping with clear, but Lacerate has gotten good enough that we don't need it really. The auras that we're using are Flesh and Stone and Blood and Sand. We always stay in Sand stance to make the Lacerate clear better. Herald of Purity I might be swapping out for, what's that one? That new physical one, Pride. I've been leveling a Pride gem. I'm just not so sure if that, I haven't really tested that. I'm going to test that today, I think. And Precision is just wonderful. Gets you up to 100% chance to hit and increases your critical strike chance, which is great because we're a crit build. We are casting Assassin's Mark and Molten Shell with our cast when damage taken. It's a little high, but I think, I don't know, I've been kind of messing with this. Assassin's Mark is a little bit inconsistent for power charge generation, so in my Leap Slam, we have faster attacks, Fortify, and power charge on crit, which has been kind of working. I'm mainly using Leap Slam. It's not super consistent. Again, a lot of moving parts to the build. Doesn't really matter because the damage gets done. Lacerate is linked with Rage, Multi-Strike, and Brutality. Rage is pretty crucial, I think. Having this stacking with the Rage you get from the Ascendancy is nice because there is a bit of a ramp up. I'll show you at the beginning of the map. Ideally, there's, pretty much nothing that will stop you from getting the 50 rage unless you pop Berserk, which you should be using if you're using a rage build, because Berserk is absurd. Kind of spam Lacerate during the Berserk to extend it, but you do end up going back to 0 eventually, because the Berserk, you get increased rage loss each second, so kind of hard to maintain. What else are we using? Blood Rage, obviously. Assassin's Marquez. I mean, that's pretty much it. Maim and Vol Double Strike, and Blood and Sand. Maim and Vol Double Strike. Just pop it when the when you go to a boss, and it will explode. Hopefully, this map goes okay. Nothing too ridiculous. Just a vulnerability I might want to watch out for, but I have warding on my crit flask. Heat, adrenaline, staunching. I feel like I'm missing something. Let's just hit it. So, build has a bit of ramp up. We're going to pop Blood Rage and hit. I want you to pay attention to the stacks of rage. 50 is max rage, and also the stacks of blitz. Blitz really helps you get going. Like, see, already at 19 stacks of blitz, and we are popping shit. Stacks of rage are adding up as well. Now what I like to do here is pop my Vol Double Strikers. They help you take care of a lot of stuff. Do want to be careful of these Vol rares. They're a little... Legion itself hasn't been much of a problem. I haven't really tried to go crazy with like trying to full clear one. We're taking a bit of damage there. The rares, we're going to try and Blade Flurry. As you can see, there's a lot of rares as you get into higher maps, and those are the dangerous ones. Didn't have to pop Berserk. Sometimes I do pop Berserk if I'm really scared that something bad's going to happen in the map. Let's just loot it all real quick. Don't want to be here forever. That guy wants to buy a ring. We'll hit him up after. So please. So yeah, I used to have to pop Vol Double Strike here and there to help me clear packs, but it got to a point where the attack speed and the way that the new targeting works, see, I'm just going to hold it for a bit here. So the targeting just kind of will snap to the monsters that are alive in a pack. I thought I would have to use the Hemophilia gloves for bleed explosion since I'm not a gladiator, but I haven't had that problem. It's just nice. It's just fun to play. I just really like being able to cancel out of a multi-strike, but like still having that multi-strike sort of speed. I mean, just look at all the, it's like, it's just super, I just have so much fun with it. Mechanically, ooh, combat focus. I wonder if people are getting really hit. And even on the rares here and there, you know, sometimes I run into a pack like, what do these guys have? These guys have armor. I wonder if physical damage, oh, hey. So taking a bit of damage there, but I think my Molten Shell procs. And I believe this is where the boss is. So we're going to pop our Val Double Strikes, we're going to pop our Berserks. And let's just kind of hit at him with our Lacerates, which are not connecting for some reason. Do a bit of Blade Flurry. I always have problems with this boss. These guys are tricky. I just don't feel like getting close and getting like one shot or something. Come on guys, can you die please? You're embarrassing me in my video. Please? Okay. This is a little sloppy, but the thing is with Lion's Roar, you spam attacks, your Vol Double Striker guys are also proccing, so they just, the bosses kind of get knocked around. And it's kind of hard to maintain, you know, kind of a consistent amount of damage. Luckily, the Blade Flurry, I don't even know if I'm really going to need it. I do prefer Blade Flurry. I wonder if something like Dual Strike, I really haven't experimented with some of the other single target spells because I was most comfortable with Blade Flurry. And I just kind of wanted something like Lacerate I've done before as well, but that was when I was very new to the game. Overall, I've been pretty lucky. Even considering that, I think that this build is very doable as a starter. Just generally speaking, the flat damage that are on these new attack gems help you kind of start where you probably would have had to upgrade your weapons while leveling a bit more. than I had to. Are we done with this map? We got 33 left. That's about done. So, as you can see, you know, rare monsters have been buffed in terms of how much health they have. Even so, the build is still clearing just fine. I'm looking forward to kind of pushing it and seeing where it goes. It's like fun and responsive to play. You know, after doing Winter Orb last league, like something where like I'm actually hitting and damaging and playing and leaping and moving and doing shit instead of just waiting for my fucking big brother over my head to kill the boss and whatever. It's really fun, and I gotta say, I'm gonna do a full video, I think, kind of going over a lot of the details of what I like so much about the rework, because the game really fundamentally feels very different in a way that is just wonderful. You know, path and feeling the progression of your character, I think, has never felt better. And that's really one of the biggest things that draws me to the game, in addition to making that cash. So thanks for watching the video. If you have any questions, let me know. The game is, I'm gonna be rocking this league, like, I'm sure, because I'm having a lot of fun already. Had a really good start, and but we'll just see what happens. Let me know what you're doing in the comments if your build is not as successful as I've been having, as successful as I am with my beautiful original super cool builds. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll be streaming today, streaming a bunch this week. Pop in, say hi, say what's up, and good luck.